Okay, so we're going to be doing a little back testing of OHM, which is a popular algorithmic rebase currency. So this is a post from September 2021. So let's see here. OHM Olympus DAOs token has exhibited counter-cyclical behavior off late, making investors a fair amount of gains while the broader market pulls back. The market value of Olympus DAO's treasury and its TVL are at fresh all-time highs. So this is back when they had, 5-digit percent APYs. And then they give you this little disclaimer. Olympus DAO is still a financial experiment in its early stages. Thus, blah, blah, blah. High risk. Don't ape in your life savings. At least they told you that. You know, this was back when OHM, so if you were staking this OHM, you were getting like 5,408% APY. Now that is a huge APY, obviously, and we got this guy Chao Wang. Every time I look at OHM, it moves in the opposite direction from the rest of the market every single time. Truly the reserve asset of crypto. And then we got another tweet. Using a similar metric to beta, OHM's correlation with Bitcoin and ETH is also trending towards zero, demonstrating close to no correlation with Bitcoin and ETH price movements. Now this I would agree with, since Bitcoin is still worth something. But OHM, as you can see here, dropped from $1,300 down to $10 after spiking back and forth, after deciding it was worth 10, or I can't even read this chart, because basically you had like over here you had like 40,000% APY, and then they had like 30,000, then they had 20,000, then they had 10,000, then they had 5,000, then they had 3,000. You see what I'm saying? Like they just continuously decrease it. And what investors didn't know over here in September, myself included, is that the rebase is actually it's diluting your stake in the market cap of the currency continuously as the rebase happens. So if we go to Olympus's website, which they have a really nice website with nice graphics, so you can put your money with them when they have nice graphics. So Olympus is building a community-owned, decentralized, and censorship-resistant reserve currency that is asset-backed, deeply liquid, and used across Web3. So let's just check this out. Censorship-resistant. Okay. So since this is built on top of Ethereum, it must use Infura. Now Infura, I don't really know a whole bunch about, but I do know Infura is where a lot of the Ethereum ecosystem is built and hosted. If Infura is just like a big company full of servers, it seems to me. There was a little code here. Okay, so yeah, Infura essentially provides the necessary tools for any application to start developing on Ethereum immediately, without the need to run the complicated infrastructure themselves. So basically, protocols rent out, like internet space, I guess, with Infura from Infura, which is a simple centralized company as well. So where did this go? Where did I want to show you? Obviously super unorganized here, but that's kind of how I go. So censorship resistant. Well, since it exists on Ethereum, and we already know Ethereum is a captured system since they moved to proof of stake, and most of the block producers on the Ethereum blockchain are centralized entities like Coinbase, or the protocols are using centralized servers like Infura that have to be OFAC compliant. So they basically have to meet compliance, to the cabal banking overlords. So I would disagree with that it's decentralized. Censorship resistant, also disagree with that, considering Ethereum is like a captured system now. Like Ethereum, it's easier to just call it like WEF-ETH at this point, and World Economic Forum. You know what I'm talking about. Asset-backed, deeply liquid. Okay, so let's check the liquidity. Volume. Couple $100,000 worth of volume. So, yeah, that's like $500,000 worth of volume on some decentralized exchanges, it looks like. So, I mean, it's definitely liquid-ish, and used widely across Web3. Now, this I can tell you from personal experience. You can basically use it in like some loan applications, like what was the one? It was like xyz.finance or some stupid shit like that, where you could leverage your rebase currency, but you don't really, it doesn't have really a use case right now. And if we look at the backing, this is just from May, that just continues to go down over time, because they're really just diluting the value of 1 ohm every time they give you that rebase. And the rebase isn't even high that time, or at this moment. Now, this is not my portfolio. This is just the sample one of the Olympus wallet activity dashboard, which was created to track how much money you lose per day. Here we have here we go. They're doing a migration. This is like the stats basically for the protocol, I guess, where you would go and assess protocol health. So here we can see, so ohm staked. So yeah, if you were staking your ohm, you were getting a huge APY. Let's see how much maybe we can calculate or see where the APY was at. Nope. No data on APY. That's funny, they don't tell you what their APY was over time. I'm sure it was like, real high and then real low, just like the price of the coin. And you see market cap topped out at about 4 billion. Now it's at 300 million. So I would disagree with that. It's a reserve currency, because what is the point of holding something that can't hold its own value, in which the shares are constantly diluted? Now they finally got these reports out, policy reports. Yeah, and then here they talk about the reward rate being adjusted, going down. But I mean, at least this is good. At least they're doing some like due diligence and reporting, saying like, hey, don't buy this because you lose an assload of money. But in reality, this is a really cool project on the flip side, because where'd it go? In the treasury, you have a myriad of different stable coins, and it looks like these are risk-free value of treasury assets, so that's just going down. Market value of treasury assets going down. This is kind of bouncing. It's kind of ranging. That's interesting. It looks like the amount of wrapped Ethereum in the treasury has just been like decreasing. I wonder if they've been selling it off. And they used to own a bunch of convex. I think that's what CVX is. And they've had to convert all of that back into liquidity. Or wait, reserves. I wonder what they even mean by that. Yeah, so their goal was basically to own a bunch of LPs and then like profit off the LPs, to create a reserve asset that is like a free float currency that's backed by a basket of assets. So it's a really cool concept. But when you're unable to keep those assets from leaving your treasury, or the market value of those assets, when you're unable to stop that from happening, you can't corner the market and just tell prices to stop going down. When that happens, your backing seems to go down. Obviously, this is a super anecdotal, surface level, but I haven't really seen many videos on this, so I kind of just wanted to cover it. Yeah, so here at the beginning, they're like, oh my god, look, there's no correlation to F. It's so good. The long-term price per ohm should equal risk-free value, or MV, I don't know what they mean, market value. Both these can and will increase. Both these can and will increase, even though the price itself might go down. The supply of ohm will be much greater the more time passes, so even if the price does reach $30, reach 10, it's highly likely that the supply will be in the hundreds of millions or a few billion, making up for any price disparity. So here they're talking about, because you have this 5-digit APY, you're going to have a massive supply in the hundreds of millions to a billion, which will make up for any price disparity. And if we go over here and we check the max supply, we're at 30 million, okay? We're not at hundreds of millions or billions, like they said in this shill post over here, which if you're being proposed something with Twitter snapshots as an investment thesis, you know you're getting shilled. Let's just be real. It's probably not going to work. Maybe someday it will. It certainly did not work here. So even as price risk is likely, yeah, that's total bullshit. 1 inch, blah, how much do you have? Okay. So the total ohm supply between these two numbers, your minimum APY. Okay, so this is what the APYs they were guaranteeing you in Olympus Proposal 18. So right now we're at 30 million. So the APY, according to their own document, well, their own shills document, you know, because they don't, if you go to there's probably some huge disclaimer where they don't have to take any responsibility for their actions. So anyways, total ohm supply between 10 million and 100 million. We're at 30 million right now. The APY should be somewhere between 500% and 1,000%. You know, and that's kind of why investors probably purchased this in the first place. Do we even know what our APY is right now? Backing per ohm. They don't even tell us. Wait, here, stake. Oh! What the fuck? Oh my god. Now that's just pathetic. 7.4%. When over here, from their own framework, which obviously they had to adjust because they had no idea what the fuck they were talking about when they made this, should have been around 500 to 1,000%. And everyone that bought over here that was like, okay, well, we'll still have 1,000%. You know, the way it works out, I'll be getting paid so many rebases that the price won't even matter. And then what do? They turn around and give you 7.4%. Literally, go fuck yourself. I don't care where you're from. That's bullshit. And I understand it's a protocol that, you know, they have to figure out how to make it work or whatever. But this just goes to show you, these things are so incredibly speculative that the people telling you about it, I mean, this guy might have been on the policy team, or who knows where this, let's see, Patrick Jane. Investments I made of November 6. All the money. Hey, look at Ripple's XRP crypto. So he's like a crypto dude. But I had this one bookmarked because it was one of the first ones I saw about that got me interested. Is the reward rate dynamic? No, the reward rate does not change dynamically. It needs to be put up to a vote. And if you think about it, Back here, when the APY was 40,000, 10,000%, and the amount of ohm you hold is proportional to the amount your vote counts, they can just continuously vote it down until it gets to where was it at 7.4%. So basically, if you bought this, you just got like totally dumped on by the early investors. I mean, they control the entire treasury, which, mind you, is just losing money, just hemorrhaging fucking money. Yeah. And so this goes on to another point I wanted to say. DAOs, Decentralized Autonomous Organization, are not DAOs. What they should be called is like centralized tech bro, dunk on you, unregistered security. I don't know. We need to think of another fucking name for these things, because DAO does not describe what's going on, because you have the policy creators and the original investors of OHM probably cashed out around here, or they have so much OHM, they literally have like, fucking gobs of OHM that, yes, the $10 price doesn't matter to them, but to anyone else that invested thinking they were still going to get a 500% APY a year down the road, and then you're served 7.4%. And the thing is, you can't sue them, you can't do anything, because they didn't do anything wrong. They literally told you from the start that basically it wasn't going to pan out the way that they were showing you on this bullshit. I mean, they kind of did. They kind of revealed their card, because they say information presented in this report, informational purposes only, does not constitute financial investment advice, just like this channel and anything you're hearing. As such, errors may exist, inaccuracies. They may misstate the financial claims of Olympus. This report does not constitute advice. Do your own due diligence. Basically, like, relinquishing responsibility for your loss in their little tech bro security DAO thing, whatever the fuck that means. I mean, I'm highly skeptical at this point if this thing will ever come back, because it's already so diluted. Market value, this is like the backing per ohm that they printed, that just keeps dropping. Total ohm liquidity -0. I think they got problems there. Maybe it like finally crashed. Maybe it like doesn't even work anymore. That'd be crazy. Any of the ohmies out there, does this thing still fucking work? Because -0 is on the dashboard. Yeah, this is separate. Anyways, I think this has gone on long enough. I hope this demonstrated to you how DAOs sometimes work. They're basically just tech companies. The insiders make a lot of profit off of your speculation, and then they say they don't technically have to deliver anything, and when they don't, you can't really do anything about it, because they already told you. They can just change the policy via votes, which they've already cornered all the votes. So, what is this? Decentralized Autonomous Organizations. That's what you're calling it. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, peace.